Number one, who will tell me the hypotenuse of WXY? What is it? It is C. It is that one right there. How do you know which is the hypotenuse? You don't know that's the longest side. You didn't measure it. The 90-degree angle points to it. Okay? Okay. Number two, in this same question, what side is opposite to angle WXY? You have to know two things in trig to be able to answer number two. You have to know what opposite means, and you have to know how to read angle WXY. Where is WXY? It is right there. What is opposite to that? Opposite means across. So it is WY. What if I had said YW? Is it the same? Yes. How many people have 2 out of 2? Awesome. That means I don't have to review that stuff. Number 3, name the side adjacent to angle P. Where is angle P? Right there, because it's yellow. Because it's yellow. Don't eat the yellow snow. It's coming soon. Now this is a trick question. Name the side or sides adjacent to angle P. It's a trick. Some people are saying C. Does anybody else have a different one? The answer is E, because adjacent means not opposite. All right? But when you're using it in calculation, then which is the right answer, E or C? C. If you're doing trig, then C is the adjacent side. What? It's still adjacent, but you wouldn't use it in trig as an adjacent side. Understand? Does everybody understand the difference there? Yes? Okay. Express sine of x, there's x, as a ratio of the lengths of the sides x, y, z. So what makes sine? Sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. So what is opposite to x? Y, z. And what is the hypotenuse? YX. Do letter order matter? No. So all I got to do is find the one that's YZ on top. There. There. Circle it, damn it! Circle it! I think it might be E. Number 5. Given the following triangle, cos of theta, we all remember what theta means, right? What is theta? It's a Greek letter that we use to refer to the angle with which we are working. Okay? Theta is right there. What is cosine? What is cos equal? adjacent over hypotenuse. So what is adjacent to theta? 4. And what is the hypotenuse? 5. C. What is the value of tan x? What is tan? Opposite over adjacent. There is x. What do I have? I have adjacent. What do I need? Opposite. Do I know opposite? Yeah, I do, because it's the square root of 13 squared minus 5 squared, right? Because of our good friend Pythagoras, the most important man in the history of math, as far as I'm concerned. Mr. DeVries says it's the Arabic guy that invented zero. Albert Einstein has nothing to do with the history of math. Albert Einstein is physics. And Albert Einstein was poopy at math. See, Albert Einstein's big claim to fame, all that stuff, his theories and everything, he made a lot of that up because he was bad at math. He was explaining stuff. Oh, there's no math for this. So he made it up. So anyway, that is 169 minus 25, which is, of course, the root of 144, which is, of course, 12. So what goes there? 12. So what's the answer? D as in doornail. How many people have 6 out of 6? How many people are filling it in as they go and are amazingly getting 6 out of 6? Really? You must have had a very good Math 10 teacher. It was me. In the following triangle, the sine of what angle is 12 over 13? 12 over 13. Sine is 12 over 13, which is O over H. H is 13. Which angle has 12 opposite it? X. So it is angle, or answer is A. A. To quote Joel Orsted. He said that a lot. You guys familiar with Joel Orsted? Yeah. He's a fun guy. He would be cool. He should date mushrooms because he's a fun guy. Nothing? Waka, waka, waka. I don't know. Maybe it was A. Let's check. It was A. Don't listen to Sophie. Number 8. What trig ratio can I use to find the hypotenuse? So I need the hypotenuse, and I got to use trig. So I have to use sine or cos, yeah? Because tan doesn't get me the hypotenuse. So, could I get the hypotenuse with 20? Could I use sine? Yes or no? No, because I don't know the opposite. Could I use cos 20? Or cos 40, I mean. I mean cos 20 using 40. That's what I mean to say. Could I do that? Yes. There is the answer. Could I do sine 70? Yes, but that wasn't an option. Who remembers how to do this? What is the answer? What's the answer?
She meant A.
She meant A?
Yeah, because she circled 2.
She meant A, but said D?
Yeah, because D was lightly circled, but she had raised.
Lightly circled, so kind of like this. Like that?
Like she changed her answer, so.
Oh!
But
So she was actually, she's willing to commit to A.
yeah.
Really? You're sure? Really? Because the same guy that taught her trig taught you trig. Really? I'm just messing with you, it's right. It feels like Friday to me today, guys, so I'm being a little off. It's A. 10.
Can you explain 9?
9? Sure. So you know the value, right?
Yeah.
So you need the angle. So you're not doing cos of an angle, you're reversing it, right? So shift cos 0.906. 25 degrees.
I get you.
It gave it in radians, so I was just going to do that. It should stay in degrees now unless you take batteries out.
We changed it to you go to mode.
Yes, I was just going to say that. If you find you are not getting the same answers as me on any of these, and you're using a graphing calculator, that is because your mode is set to radian, not degree. Or it might not be your mode. On the screen of your calculator, you need to see the letter D or DEG. Next year, when you take pre-calc 12, as I assume all of you will be doing, you will not be using degrees anymore. You will move into radians. Uh, 10. Which of the following is correct? So, you got to check them all. Let's check E. E is correct, so I'm going to assume it's the only one that's correct. What else could you write there instead of NP? Lil M. Nice. How many people have 10 out of 10? 8 out of 10? Well, if you had 10 out of 10, you still have 8 out of 10. Didn't you put your hand up for 10 out of 10?
No, yeah.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay. Number 11. Find A to the nearest degree. So this is A. What parts of A do I know? I know that one and that one. What are those two sides if I am starting from A? I know the adjacent is 15, and I know the hypotenuse is 17. So what uses A and H? Cos. And since I need an angle, Sophie Dolphin, what do I do? Use shift cos, or second function cos. 15 divided by 17 to get the answer. And the answer is shift cos. 15 divided by 17. 28. B. As in bummer, I don't remember how to do trig. But you all do remember how to do trig. Kinda. By the way, in case you didn't know, in case you have never been in my class before, trig is my favoriteest kind of math. I love trig. If I could marry it, I would. But sometimes I say nice things to trig and it takes it the wrong way, and then I have to go to court and I lose my job. I'm just kidding. Number 12. What is the length of NP? This side right here. To find that side, I have an angle and I have the opposite side. What side do I need? The adjacent side. What uses O and A? Tan. So tan of 25 equals 7 over m. When the letter's on the bottom, what do you do? Pardon? No. You do division. It is 15. Now, that sounds like something I need to review very quickly. What's your job anytime you see a letter in math class? Isolate it. So to do this the long way, how would you get m out of the denominator? I'd multiply that side by m, yes? Then they would cancel, agreed? If I multiply the right side by m, what do I got to do to the left side? Multiply it by m. So now I've got m tan 25 equals 7, yes? Right? Because the m's canceled. How do I get that m by itself now? Divide by tan 25. If I do something to that side, what do I got to do to that side? Tan 25. So now that cancels out, and I have m equals 7 divided by tan 25. The shortcut is, when the letter's on the bottom, you divide. Which means when the letter's on the top, what do? Multiply. Oh, all this in brains too. Find x to the nearest tenth. There's x. I have an angle. I have an hypotenuse. What do I need? I need an adjacent. What uses a and h? Because my hypotenuse is 10. My adjacent, I don't know. And my theta equals 20. It's cos, isn't it? Cos 20 equals a, I don't know, over hypotenuse. Letters on the top, so what do I do? Multiply. 10 cos 20 equals x. So I go 10 cos 20. And I get 9.4. Such a piece of crap. Uh-oh, word problems. Incredibly easy trig word problems, by the way. So make sure you can do these ones. Ladder leans against the wall at an angle of 70 degrees to the ground. Where do walls go? Vertically, from where? The ground. Where do ladders lean? Against a wall. At what angle? 70 degrees to what? The ground. Where is that? Up or down? Down. The ladder is 6 meters long. Where is the 6? On the ladder. How high up does the ladder reach? Which one of these last two measurements is measuring height? The vertical one, h. Oh, I shouldn't use h because h is hypotenuse. Let's call it q just for fun. Even though the question all uses x because it's boring. We'll make it x. What do I have? I have an angle of what? 70. I have an hypotenuse of 6. And I need an opposite of x. What uses O and H? Sine 70 equals OX over H, 6. Sine 70 equals x over 6, right there. How would you solve that? Multiply or divide? Multiply. Why? Because x is on the top. All right. To one decimal place, find the length of C if angle C is 45. So if that's 45, that's 15, that is C. What do I got to use? Why is it sine? Because I need an opposite and I have an hypotenuse. Theta equals 45, opposite equals C, hypotenuse equals 15, sine 45 equals C over 15. 15 times sine 45, 10.6. B. Is that it? Is this thing done? Yeah. So, I need you to be honest with me. I am not going to ask you to embarrass yourself if you did very poorly on this particular thing, because now you've seen it all the way through. Now that you have seen it all the way through, now, of course, when you look at the very next page, I have some review already. Okay? Do any of you feel that I need to make up a sheet, another one of these, with this type of trig question? 90-degree triangles, a few regular ones, and some word problems. Maybe you only need some word problems. Or maybe you feel you're okay and we should go on. We won't be going on today regardless because there's a lot of people missing. Do you guys feel that you need one more little bit of work to make sure you're cozy with trig? Would that be useful? How many people feel that? Should I focus it on word problems with very few of this type of question? I don't find this type of question to be particularly useful. Do I need to do them, or all of you find, if you have the triangle in front of you, can you do trig? Is everybody happy with their trig abilities if the triangle is drawn for them? Going once, going twice, going thrice. Okay. So this class goes till when? I don't even remember. 11:26. So that's 25 minutes now. So if I put up a couple of trig word problems, we could do them right now, yeah? Okay. I will find a couple of trig word problems. If you need to have a drink or take a pee, now's a good time. The rest of you should get out a piece of paper because I'll put a couple of trig word problems on the board, okay? Go. Please do get a drink of water real quick. Please do.
Can we get a drink of water?
What did I just say? You guys punch each other so much. I don't get it. Why aren't you friends? Yes. All right. Here's 2 trig word problems. Go. You don't need to write the questions down, of course, but you can if you wish. They are being recorded. If what's at the top? If the variable is in the numerator, you multiply. In order to do a trig question, what do you need? A triangle. Does it matter what the triangle really looks like? No. I just drew a triangle. What do I know in that triangle? A wire is attached to the top of a 22-meter tall flagpole. I got 3 lines there. Which one of them has to be the flagpole? The vertical one. How long is it? 22. The wire makes a 58-degree angle with the ground. Where is the ground? Down there. So where's the 58? Right there. I need the length of the wire. Which is the wire? The hypotenuse. Now, every trig question is always the same. Do you have an angle with which you can work? A theta. Yes. What is it? 58. What else do you know? Because once you have chosen 58, that is where you decide opposites and adjacents. Right? What do you know? I know that number that's across the triangle. What is that? O or A? O. And what is it? 22. And I need the H. That's what I don't know. What uses O and H? Sine of 58 equals O, 22, over hypotenuse. H. Letters on the bottom. So it is H equals 22 divided by sine 58. Now the biggest problem with doing trig for you guys is, one, you refuse to show work. You absolutely, categorically refuse to write this down. Then you spend 80 minutes doing a test, you do the whole test wrong, and then it's my fault. Even though I have never once done a trig problem in front of any one of you ever that I haven't written that down, have I? Because if you write it down, is it possible to do it wrong? Is it? Theta, OH. And then on a separate sheet of paper, we give you sine theta equals O over H. We don't even make you memorize it anymore. The hardest thing here is doing that on your calculator. You have to know your calculator. Some of you will go sine 58. Some of you will have to go 58 sine. Whose job is it to know how the calculator works? Mine or yours? Yours. That's the math. That's what you are doing. 22 divided by the sine of 58 degrees. However your calculator works that out. And the answer is, I go to my calculator works forward, so it is 22 divided by sine 58. I have to remember to close the brackets on this machine, equals 25.94. If you did not get 25.94, now is the time to ask, so we can figure out what your machine is doing to you. Everybody got 25.94? Every single person? Everybody in the room? Awesome. Now let's do the next one. What do I need to do trig? What do I need to do trig? Triangle. Boom, boom, boom. What do I know about that triangle? The ramp is raised 1.3 meters above the ground, which is the only side of them, this triangle, that is going up from the ground. This side, 1.3. Do I know anything else about this ramp? The ramp is 6 meters long. Where's the ramp? Right there. I want the angle of inclination. Well, you know that's 90, so it has to be, I want the green angle or the blue angle. Which one of those is inclined? Inclined means it goes up. The blue one. So that is my theta. Then I make my list, and I don't refuse to show work, because if I show work, I always get it right. Do you know your theta? No, that's an X. What do you know if that's the angle with which you are working? What is that? Opposite is 1.3. What is that? Hypotenuse, which is 6. What uses O and H? Sine of theta equals O, 1.3, over 6. That is not the angle. That is the ratio. You get the angle by doing shift sign. On every calculator, you need to put bracket 1.3 divided by 6. Close brackets. Then you either do shift sign first, then that, or you do 1.3 divided by 6, close brackets, then shift sign. And the answer is shift sign. 1.3 divided by 6, close brackets, equals 12.5 degrees. Could everybody get it? Again, the hardest thing is remembering which way your calculator works. The other thing that's a hassle is as soon as you hit sign of anything, your calculator screen is going to change, and a great many of you think it's done. When is your calculator done work? What is your signal that your calculator has done all the calculations it needs to do for you? What button must you hit? Enter or equals. If you haven't hit that, you don't have the final answer, no matter what your calculator screen looks like. Do you understand? Aight. Do we want to do a couple more of these? Yeah? Okay, let's give you a really hard one. But it's not really hard. Where Where would it live? Where would it live? Where would it live? Where would it live? I think it would live in there. Does it live in there? Oh yeah, that's a deadly one. Some of you who have been in my grade 10 class will remember this question because it made you cry. Yes, the boat question. We'll be doing some questions like the boat question using a compass.
Oh, that one. We did that higher question. Max got like 47,000 kilometers or something instead of like the 12.
Yes, that was fun too. I remember that question. A great many people in my Honors 10 class feel you can take a hot air balloon 47,000 meters into the air. That is 47 kilometers. It's awfully hard to hold your breath up there. I remember that question. That was good times. And they were very proud of themselves. You were supposed to do it. That's kind of the point. I already know how to do it. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of you have seen this question already. Dropping the mic, Priyanka? Dropping the mic because you got it, right? It's all up here, right? Because nobody needs to show work. No. Yeah. The airplane's up in the air, dude. So, how far is it from the airplane to the airport?
The airport is here. Oh, the airport's right here.
And Z.
That's when you drew the plane.
No, listen to Yoon Kang using 3 axes, the Z axis. He's a badass, that Yoon Kang. Look out, math.
So you have to get
It's 6 kilometers. Oh, 6 kilometers up. So it's this is 6 kilometers. 6 up from the ground. And yeah. Now that we have 6, we can. Oh, what's the angle? No, what's our angle?
Okay. Now, obviously, this is a difficult question because it requires you to make more than one triangle, yes? Because the plane is up in the air. So I'm going to draw this hopefully in such a way as to make it more easy for you guys to see. I am going to say that north is red and east is blue. Is everybody cool with that? So, on the ground, I'm going to go north, and I'm going to draw it curvy because it's on the surface of the earth. Everybody cool? North was 37, yeah? And then I went east, curvy again because it's on the surface of the earth, 81, correct? Everybody with me? Now, stop for a second. What is the real difference between north and east? How far is that? 90. So this is really a triangle with a 90-degree angle right there, yes? Is everybody with me? But it's on the surface of the earth, so I drew it curvy. Everybody cool? Yeah? Okay, so if the plane was on the ground, it would be right there, yes? But it's not on the ground. So first you find that hypotenuse. That gives you this. And the plane is up in the air. 6. 6 in hypotenuse. You need that. So close. Have good days. See you tomorrow when we actually start trig.